we work with the political and the bureaucratic leadership in the states. Could be a chief minister, could be a minister, could be a chief secretary, a principal secretary, and so on. So the political and the bureaucratic leadership in the states on statewide systemic transformation mandates. Now these could be either domain specific things. For example, how do you improve the quality of education across all government schools in the state, right? Something that we're doing across multiple states, right? How do you improve and increase farmer incomes in a particular state? Or how do you get more youth linked to employment opportunities in a state, right? So these are typically domain specific problem statements where we are working with one ministry or one department of the government. The second kind of problem statements are more cross-cutting. For example, how do you take a state forward on the digital front? Or how do you leverage young professionals to bring in governance reforms? Now, these are problem statements where we have to work with multiple ministries and multiple departments of the state government, and these are therefore typically housed in the Chief Minister's office. Now, there are certain common characteristics of all these programs that we do. One, we are not going in with a preconceived point solution, right? The objective is to actually diagnose what is the current state of affairs in the state on a particular domain, on a particular given problem statement, and then actually come up with a 2 to 3 year roadmap to bring about the transformation. So that's one. Second, we are not just giving a roadmap or giving recommendations, but actually we co-work with the state leadership to make the transformation happen over a period of 2 to 3 years. Right? So we are diagnosing, we are designing, and then we are co-working to make the change happen as well. The third characteristic is that the roadmap that we come up with often is a combination of both governance levers on one side and technical levers on the other. For example, if you're talking about school education transformation, on one side we'll talk about things like how do you change the configuration of schools in the state? What's the right teacher transfer policy in a state? How do you make sure that every student gets textbooks before the start of an academic session? How do you make sure there is merit-based selection of teachers? So on one side, there are these administrative or governance levers. On the other side, we'll talk about things like what's the right remediation program for the students? What's the right mechanism to train teachers, for instance? Right? And all these kind of academic things on the other side. And this is typically the case in all our programs. The fourth important characteristic is that we only like to get into situations where there's a strong pull from the state leadership. Right? Because the kind of changes, the kind of things that we are trying to bring about cannot happen without a strong political will or a strong bureaucratic will. Therefore, the buy-in of the state government is a prerequisite for us to get into any situation. Hope that helps explain what we do and what's our lever of change. Thank you.